Hey guys, Tony Yoshi here, back with a video. I know it's been a while. I've been trying to post something, but life has struck me in the face. When is it not? Anyways, so a mod we're going to be reviewing is a mod made by a guy named Elton called the Wind Meter mod. It's not necessarily a mod, it's an add-on, and I kind of want to do more of these add-on reviews for the ProtoManly's weather mod as time goes on. I feel like this could be a fun thing to do, and something to hold us over while waiting for any further updates on said mod. So as you see in the background, we've got this squall that naturally formed. I'm just kind of waiting for it to come here, because it'll help to show off the features of this mod. So first off, let's start off with something to small stuff. So right here we've got I believe this is a decorative item. This is just decorative, but it does get damaged by a tornado depending on the wind speeds. And that's another thing that's cool about this mod, is that all of these anemometers and wind measurements do get damaged at certain wind thresholds, I believe, except for the tornado probe. That actually just stays there because it's meant to stay there, you know? But, yeah. So this is just a normal windmill, like a garden windmill. Something you just have in your garden, I guess. I've never seen one of this kind of design. I've seen bigger ones like this, obviously out in the Midwest, but that's about it. This is a windsock. All this really tells you is that the wind is from 274 degrees, which is basically almost due west, I believe. And that's really about it. You can really discern from this. To make this, you will need 1 copper, 3 iron ingots, 2 pieces of red wool, and 1 white wool to make that. I believe it is also functional with the pole. The pole is another aesthetic feature. It's just 3 pieces of iron, a white piece of bone meal, and white red dye. Which, I thought in this version you had the ability to make dye itself. Well, yeah, you do. I just went right by it. So, that's actually kind of an interesting quirk there, I just noticed. But getting on to the more impressive stuff. So, this is another nice one. So, this is I believe this is based on, like, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but one of these is based on a Davis. One of them is based on an Arm Young, and I think this is the one that's based on an Arm Young. So, to make this, you'll need 3 components. You'll need the wind meter rotor, you'll need the wind meter nacelle, and a mast for the wind meter. So, one by one, to make the rotor, it is 4 pieces of obsidian, ooh, quite steep, and 1 piece of iron ingot. And for the nacelle, you'll need 3 pieces of iron, or 4 pieces of iron, piece of quartz, redstone comparator, that's actually nice, heavy weighted pressure plate, piece of redstone, and a piece of gold. As for the mast, 1 piece of copper, 1 piece of gold, 3 pieces of iron, 2 pieces of redstone. Once you put all those together, you've got yourself a wind meter. So one of the cool things is, oh wow, that actually looks really cool. I didn't even notice that. But another thing is you're going to want to figure out how to use these. You can hook them up to this, or you can hook it up to this. For the sake of simplicity, I'm going to show you how to show it up to the wind meter here first. These only show wind. These 2 here only show wind. So yeah, the weather display, I believe you would hook up your wind here to this, and it would also show you the temperature and dew point just from here. That's it though. Ooh, that's some nice thunder. So in order to pair this, you'll have to do this to both of these. But first, before we get to that, this is how you make the wind display. 2 pieces of redstone torches, 1 redstone dust, 2 bone meal, 1 compass, 1 piece of gold, 1 piece of copper ingot, and 1 polished deep slate slab. That is how you make this beautiful wind display. And in order to connect them, so you'll have to go through this. So it's a channel setup. So if you've never done this before, this basically on this mod is the channel setup from 0 to 100. 0 is the debugging one. So if you want to keep it to debug, that's what you'll want to do. Let's just say I want to keep this at channel 12. So the selected channel is now occupied. So then we select it to here. We set this also to 12. And now this is transmitting. So at any moment, these should link up. Wait, I didn't confirm it. My bad. Now it's connected. As you see here, we've got a basically near real-time display of the direction and the winds. So up here we've got the wind speed in miles per hour. This is also interchangeable, so you can set this to metric. I just prefer imperial because I'm American. You've got the wind max here, currently also 3. You've got the channel that is set to, and obviously this wind wheel, along with the direction. This is telling us the direction in degrees, or it can also be seen here with the arrow indicating where the wind is coming from. In this case, it's indicating to be coming from the west. And the wind direction is actually changing too. So, ever so changing. Because the storm that we're looking at is coming from the west. The wind is slowly changing direction, and the wind is also slowly increasing. Another cool little feature here we're going to show off quickly is the handheld anemometer. Now, in order to make this, you'll need 1 cup for anemometer. I'll show you the recipe for that in a second. An iron ingot, copper ingot, gold ingot, and redstone dust. And in order to make this, you need a bucket, 2 black dye, or actually you need 3 buckets, 1 iron ingot, and 2 black dye to make that. So relatively a pretty easy recipe, and as you can show, it's showing the winds currently increasing pretty quickly as we have got a squall moving in. So yeah, another cool little feature. I believe this is another one, so let's say I want to set this to channel 30. And now that's set to channel 30, and we're going to put one of the other ones. These all operate on the same consensus here. These all operate on the same thing. The only difference is that they can hold up to better winds. So I believe this one here, the heavy duty, can stand up to, I believe it was 400 miles per hour. I'll put some info here on the screen to show you what the actual stuff is. But yeah. And then this is another one right here. This is based on the Davis, I believe. It looks like it is based on the Davis. So yeah, we'll pair this one to it. So you shift, right click, and I just set it to channel 30. Now it's on channel 30. Boom, there you go. This squall isn't particularly strong. It's about 28 miles an hour. Highest one it showed was 31. So yeah, not particularly strong. Definitely lightning-y though. So yeah. And in order to make this stuff, I'll show you how to make that quickly. In order to make this, you will need the heavy-duty variants of what I just mentioned before. So the heavy-duty motor, or rotor, requires 4 obsidian and also a netherite scrap. Which is interesting, because other than making netherite ingots, I've never seen scrap used as a recipe component. So that's actually kind of neat. I like that. Another instance of it being used, 1 netherite scrap, 4 obsidian, 1 quartz, 1 redstone comparator, 1 redstone dust, and a gold ingot. So there's that. And finally, the mast, which is basically just replacing all the other components from the previous one, but using obsidian instead. So everything else remains the same except for the netherite scrap being used. And this can stand up to, I believe, 300, 400 mile an hour winds. Then the Davis here, this is a cup anemometer, so it's a different recipe. So it's got 3 components now. That's different. So it's got the vein for cup anemometer, which is black dye, along with 3 iron and a piece of gold. And then you've got the cups as well, which we just discussed. It is 3 buckets, 1 iron, 2 black dye. And then the final component is the mast, which is 3 iron ingots, 2 copper, 1 gold, 1 redstone, and a black dye. As you can see, functionally, it's not much dissimilar from the other 2 things. We can set this to channel 40, and we'll put this on channel 40 here. Oh, oopsies. And boom, there we go. Functionally is not dissimilar from the other 2 things that we just talked about. Now, this is where we're going to start getting into some of the more interesting and more different stuff from this mod. So, we've got the tornado probe. Now, I'll show this off quickly. In order to make this, you will need a weather station, which requires, this is from the base game, this requires 4 iron, 1 blue dye, 2 redstone dust, and an anemometer and a tornado sensor. If you've already got the game, or already got this mod, you should probably already know how to make that. This one also includes using the regular wind meter, 2 iron bars, 1 yellow dye, 1 piece of gold, an iron trapdoor, and 2 pieces of redstone dust. Now, this probe stands up for just about anything, and as you can see, it's a placeable block, and it records for 5 minutes. You're probably wondering, what does this mean? So, this will sit here and record data for 5 minutes. So, the wind's currently 15 miles an hour, and the probe is currently recording the temperature and the dew point. We click it again, things have changed. So, the dew point is now 40.9 degrees Fahrenheit instead of it being 41 a second ago. You know, things are changing ever so slightly. So, if you shift and right click this, it'll show you the temperature minimum maximum in this respective unit, and then the dew point minimum maximum in this respective unit, and then the wind max, which it showed 15. The wind never changed, it was really just everything else. But as you see, the wind is also going down, and so is everything else. So yes, This is how the tornado probe works. You basically are trying to put this in the path of a tornado or storm, whatever one you want to do, and it's good for recording data for up to 5 minutes. After that point, it no longer records data. This is where you start getting more into the kind of like the decorative stuff over here as well. This is a wind vane, just a normal average wind vane. So in order to make this, you need a heavy weighted pressure plate, 3 iron ingots, a copper, and a compass. And that's how you make this. It's simple. It's just your normal like wind vane. See, you got it west, east, south, north, things of that nature. It's basically just that. And then over here is where we start getting into the more interesting components of this mod. They have decided to add a thing where you can basically power stuff using these wind turbines. It's basically harnessing the actual wind that this game is producing and using it for power, which I find that pretty intuitive. That's actually pretty nice. As a person who liked using the wind turbines in industrial, in IE2, in I think that's what it's called. No, IC2, Industrial Craft 2. I actually really enjoyed using the windmills because they're dynamic. And now these are just as dynamic, if not more so, than them. So that's pretty nice. So you got 3 different sets here. Oh, 1 second, You got the small wind turbine. You got the wooden wind, regular wind, and the carbon wind. So to make the small wooden, you'll need 3 carbon blades made of wood. You'll need a small wind turbine nacelle, turbine vane, and a dark oak fence. So in order to make these, so basically you'll need. So the good thing is this recipe, dark oak slabs. I guess it uses those exclusively. Dark oak slabs makes you 3 of them, or 6 of them, my bad. So you can make 2 different wind turbines with that. And this, the nacelle requires 5 pieces of iron, 2 pieces of copper, an iron bar, and a gold ingot. You go back to it again. The vane requires 2 dark oak fences and a slab, and it gives you 2. So again, more components to make 2 of them. And then just need a dark oak fence. So this is basically a dark oak recipe. So that's what that's going to use. The regular wind turbine, it uses the 3 blades, the nacelle, and the vane, but this time using an iron bar instead of a fence. In order to make this, you'll need 2 heavy weighted pressure plates and an iron bar. And those will make you 6 of this. So the same thing as before, makes you enough to make 2. This is the only one that doesn't. This is the same recipe as before, because this remains the same. This is going to be 2 iron and a heavy weighted pressure plate, and that makes you 2. And then the iron bar, obviously not to make that 6 iron, makes you 16, so you got plenty to make for that. Now this one's the fun one. This is going to be carbon, so it uses carbon for here. It uses this regular wind turbine vane here, but it is dyed black. So in order to make this, you'll need 2 pieces of coal, a slime ball, and an iron bar. But that, unlike the previous recipes, this only makes 1 of the blades. So you'll need 6 coal, 3 slime balls, and 3 iron bars to make this fully. And then obviously you've got your turbine nacelle. That requires the same 5 iron, 2 copper, 1 gold, and iron bar. And then the same thing with this, the same 2 iron and 1 heavy weighted pressure plate. And this requires iron bars too, but this time it is using black dye to color the back of it. I don't know the exact nature of what these do. I'm pretty sure just like the other ones, they're either more durable to the wind or they can produce more power depending on their tier. I don't know exactly for sure and do not have the ability to test this. But that is essentially what this mod is, this add-on to the ProtoManly's weather mod. And personally, I really like it a lot. I'm actually planning on using this on my world more often. I've actually been really inclined, and this mod does receive pretty regular updates. Or this add-on, I should say. It does receive pretty regular updates by the mod maker, Elton, and props to him for making such a really cool mod with just the base framework of this mod right here, the ProtoManly weather mod. It is really cool to see this. Not only did he make it so that people can place probes in the path of storms, they can live monitor the winds, the maximum winds, wind speeds, and live monitor all this stuff, and being able to place multiple. Not only did they do that, but they also made the handheld anemometer reel, which is really cool. And apparently, it can crouch right-click to reset the thing, which is pretty dang cool. So yes. And not only that, but they also made it so that you can generate power with it. That, in my opinion, is really darn impressive. So hats off to this guy. This is probably one of the best add-ons I've seen up here. I say one of because there are going to be more add-ons I'm going to be looking at in the near future. I'll give you a hint as to one of them. Let's just say this probe will not be the only thing recording stuff inside the tornado. If you know, you know. Anyways, guys, that's basically it for this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and leave some more comments down below on what I should actually review next on this mod here. Hey guys, so just to redo that last outro, which was just complete and utter rubbish. Like, I was trying to edit it, couldn't do anything with it. So yeah. Anyways, so the question I'd like to pose to y'all is, would you guys like me to get back into Roblox storm chasing? The reason I stopped doing it was because no one really asked anymore. Like, even when I went from Roblox to Minecraft, no one really asked me then, hey, are you going to get back into it? Do you ever plan to go back to Project Supercell, which that's deprecated and dead now, so good luck with that. The game barely functions properly. So the only really 2 games I would probably play, maybe 3, actually there's 4, but 2 of them aren't storm chasing, and they're storm, forecasting and stuff like Storm Analysis Inc. and Storm Tracker Reborn. Those are 2 games I would play on Roblox, and I like playing them. Hurricane Tracker Reborn is also fun too, and that's actually made by the same guy who made the, PM weather mod. So that might be a fun little thing to do next too. Of course, it's not really big. You're just basically watching little, entities crawl across the screen, watching them hit places and cause damage. So, yeah, basically like real life in a sense. But, yeah. So, I was planning on doing Helicity and Twisted. I have a lot more progress in Twisted, so if anyone wants me to do something where I'm kind of like starting from the grounds up type stuff, probably better for me to go on Helicity, because I'm actually trying to get the Dow up there, which is like a lot of money. So, yay, wish me luck on that one. And Twisted, if you just want to see me chase storms a lot, and intercept a lot, that's definitely the one you want me to do. So, yeah. Anyways, that's basically it. So resuming the previous outro, just like, comment, subscribe if you liked the video. If you want me to do more these add-on reviews, definitely leave some recommendations and suggestions for the next add-on I should do for the ProtoManly's weather mod. And it has to be the weather mod. I'm not saying, hey, you should check out this add-on for like the Naruto mod. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking just about like add-ons for the weather mod. So if you got any add-ons you'd like me to review or need some help with, then I can definitely make like a little video showing off the major things as well as the smaller things. I try to show off as much as I can with an add-on review and a mod review in general, so that people know how to use it from the gate. They don't need to do what I do, which is spend about 15 minutes looking for a YouTube video to find out how to use a mod. Because trust me, that could be a pain in the butt. So yeah. Anyways, that's basically it. So yeah, like I said, like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more of these add-on reviews, and also leave a comment below saying whether or not I should get back into Roblox, what add-ons I should do, things of that nature. So yeah, that's basically all I got for this video. So yeah, take care guys, and see you.